But yeah, that was the main negative. Is I think
Yeah.
it was slow. I think they, and then this isn't what I'm saying, but
Yeah.
it kind of feels like it was like, oh well, we are a driven show,
Mhm.
so we can just do that, and like
Mhm.
no one's gonna question us because they know we already have one season under our belts.
Yeah.
This is our style. So if we just keep doing that and not really focus on the plot too much, if we
Mhm.
just have a lot of character driven stuff, we can do it as much as we can, as we want. We can have these long dialogue scenes
Yeah.
back to back and with all these different
Mhm.
characters, and not really have any like action or any plot moments or plot points that are pushed like ahead. We don't have to do any of that because this is the style. So it's like, I'm not saying it's lazy, but it's
Yeah.
kind of like it's like relying on what you're
What you known to be good at.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you're establishing yourself
Yeah.
as, and just pushing that more. So kind of, I don't know. I kind of even felt like I didn't see Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
but it was almost like the reverse of like maybe what season 8 was. Like just like they're like, well, let's drag it out.
Oh, I see what
longer.
you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's,
let's
8 was rushed.
yeah,
Right.
let's do-
And
let's do
this
the
one they're
opposite.
dragging it out. I hear what you're
Yeah,
saying.
let's do the complete opposite, 180, and make it as long and drawn out as possible, and just put a bunch of dialogue, a bunch of this, that, and this, and then now that'll make up for it, maybe,
Yeah.
kind of a thing. Not that that's what they're doing or they're connected
Sure,
to it at
yeah,
all. It's
yeah.
completely different.
Yeah. No, I
creative
mean
team. But, yeah.
Yeah.
But-
That's a fair way to
Mhm.
think of it.
Yeah, that's the way I kind of saw it. So it just seemed like I just would like to see more of the plot move forward. Not that I need to see a big battle or war at the
Yeah.
end. That obviously that's what they're going to, but
Yeah.
I just it just seemed like this was more of like a mid season or like a season 1.5 to me,
Right.
Versus a full story. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was my big issue with it.
Yeah, and then with the next coming seasons, especially with season 3, should be very action packed.
Yeah.
4, I think they're only doing 4 seasons, so 4 should be the let's wrap everything up.
Okay.
And again, like I said, I have a very different opinion of this season.
Mm.
I feel like it's natural to see people try to hold back
Yeah.
on the war escalating. It's natural to see, I think, certain characters have some very big changes, especially with Damon.
Yeah.
When when he takes over Harrenhal and he's having these different dreams and visions, Damon is very hurt and slighted, and he feels like he was next in line to be the king. And then this, quote unquote, this little girl comes into play and she takes over. And from his opinion, he thinks I've been slighted because the king was mad at me, not because he thinks you were the better person to rule.
Right.
And he doesn't know, no, dude, you were not the better person to rule. She is. And you need to get on board with that. So we get to see his arc of him finally coming to terms with that.
Yeah.
A very prideful, a very boastful person having to take that knee and basically seeing, especially with his dreams. And he has dreams of the future, and he dreams of Daenerys. He dreams of the Game of Thrones eggs. He dreams of our eggs here.
Yeah.
The fact that he sees that and he realizes like, oh crap, you know what I mean? There's more going on here. He literally, he sees the White Walkers, or you know what I mean? He sees the Night King in his dream, and he's like, oh crap, I'm over here trying to fight for this, to be the king because I feel slighted and I feel like it was my place to rule. But there's more going on here, and we need Rhaenyra to be in charge.
Yeah.
So I like seeing that kind of thing. I had no problem seeing the characters develop, the relationships developed, the war develop, because I don't think things just go from I'm mad right to war kind of thing. I feel I've got zero problem with the build up and everything in this season. I feel like it's natural for humans to have that kind of feeling
that's cool.
or whatever.
And I mean that's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Agree to disagree.
Agree to disagree. Agree to disagree.
I mean, I just really feel like as much as there was going on with the characters, I feel like the world would have changed with it as well. But it didn't really, like, the characters changed way more than the progression of the events did from the beginning of season 1 to the beginning of season 2 to the end of season 2.
Yeah,
like there's a lot more that happened with them than what actually happened outside.
Right.
You know?
I mean, and
so
that's
I think,
one person. Like one person is not going to necessarily like affect the world around them like immediately kind of thing. It's like knocking down dominoes. It's going to be like a gradual thing. It's not going to be immediate. Like you knock down one domino and they all drop.
Yeah, no, that's cool, but it seemed like it's like, okay, well, effing Luke is killed. I want retribution.
Right.
And then nothing happens. And then it's like,
right, because she's the queen, she can't just do what she wants. She knows she can't.
Then the kid is killed.
Right, because of Daemon.
Right,
and not because of the queen.
I want retribution. Nothing happens.
Right,
you know what I mean? So it's kind of like there's like, oh, they're doing this, and we need to respond. But no,
but that makes sense though, because leaders on that level, they can't just do what they want, even though they may have a certain title of king or queen. They can't just do what they want. Even like if you have the title of president or prime minister, or whatever. No matter what you say, there are other people around you that are affecting the leadership as well. Nobody leads by themselves, I guess is my point. So no matter how mad the queen or the king were on both sides, they can't just snap their fingers and then everything just goes to shit.
Yeah, no, I agree. At that level, I agree. But I think as a narrative, like from us seeing season 1, the end of season 1 to the end of season 2, nothing has changed. And that's my issue. Like for entertainment purposes, and for us enjoying a story, and in an HBO Max series, like nothing has changed from the end of.
I feel like it's a slow change. I feel like that's the only difference. It's a slow change. It's not anything immediate. Yeah. And like you said, agree to disagree.
No, I need to see progression in story. That's what I need to see when it comes to a show.
And I need to see like realistic progression in story. And I feel like that's what this did, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, but I mean, if this was a show that was taking place over the course of 100 years, then cool.
Well, I mean, 100 years, I mean, that's obviously,
years, or whatever the case is.
Well, see, not even like that, because if you are a world leader and world, things are starting to progress to war, like there are leaders that go to war all the time, and it's not like something that happened like 100 years ago. It could be something that happened in the last 5, 10 years or 20 years or even 30 years. Let's say that. But I think when you do have people where you have a monarchy as opposed to a republic or a democracy, then they can push things along faster. So instead of taking 100 years to get to a point where we're going to go to war, it is going to be something that's going to take place a lot sooner. That's because, like I said, because you have like those monarchs, they're the ones that are in charge, so they can make things happen faster. But this is like it's an avalanche. It's a boulder rolling down a hill. It's gonna pick up speed and it's gonna get worse and worse and worse before it finally stops. So like I said,
that's fair. I think if you're gonna tease war at the end of the first season and then nothing happens and then you tease war at the end of the second season again, it's kind of like you're fucking with me now.
Okay, I see your point.
I feel like you're kind of effing with me and you're not giving me what you say you're going to get.
And I feel like, so I get that. I get that. You're looking for something very different at the end of each season. And I feel like it is natural to say like, the spark was, lit back here and the fire is burning. People are trying to put it out. It's a forest fire that they're fighting back here. And the third season is going to be, well, now the forest fire is out of control. I'm okay with that, but again, it's like it's a taste thing.
It's how you want to be entertained.
And
we have different opinions of that, which is cool. But that's the great thing about the show is that it causes that discussion.
Yes, amen.
There's all these characters that have that people will agree or disagree with, or be on the side of, or understand, have sympathy for, hate them, or all that stuff that we already had discussions about. Who we agree with Rhaenyra and Alicent, like we already disagree with that because of how they're built 3-dimensionally. They're well-rounded to have that discussion on the outside, and that's why that's where I think
a good story.
That's where I think the success of the story is that there are so many layers to it, and there's not like a right answer necessarily, and there's just, a lot of very interesting, well-rounded characters. That's the strength of this series.
And when you have people like there's hardly ever like a one or the other, a black and white issue or answer. When it comes to dealing with a person, a human being, we're more complicated than that. And that's what these people are. They're more complicated. They're not just, and there's nothing wrong, I think, with making a character that is supposed to be like an archetype of something, and this character is something, this character is something. These characters they're realistic or whatever. And like you said, we can have a discussion or a debate about the show, about the characters and what their intentions are and where it should go and everything else. So,
agreed.
Very solid.
We'll agree on that. So we can agree on.
Well, maybe not. Maybe not. I can't.
Let me find a way to disagree with you.
Give me a second. I
can find a way.
I can find a way.